Let's venture back to 1922 to a small farmstead in Germany where an entire family met a brutal and mysterious end. This is the story of the Hinterkaifeck Murders, a case that remains unsolved and continues to baffle investigators to this day. Join me as we unravel this chilling tale. Hinterkaifeck was home to the Gruber family, Andreas, his wife Cecilia, their daughter Victoria, and her two children, Cecilia and Joseph, and they lived quietly, isolated from the nearby village. In the eerie days leading up to the attack on Hinterkaifeck, unsettling events began to unfold. Just 6 months prior, the family made abruptly quit her position, citing mysterious noises coming from the attic and a chilling belief that the house was haunted. In another instance, Andreas Gruber discovered a peculiar newspaper from Munich on his property. Perplexed, he couldn't recall purchasing it and initially suspected that the postman had misplaced it. A few days before the murders, Gruber informed his neighbors that he had found footprints in the newly fallen snow that led from the forest to a damaged door lock in the farm's machine room. And later that night, they heard footsteps in the attic, but when Gruber searched the building, he found no one. Despite telling multiple people about what he had seen, he declined offers of assistance and did not report the details to the police. Maria Baumgartner, the new maid, arrived at the farm on the afternoon of Friday, March 31, 1922. Her sister accompanied her and departed after a brief visit, making her possibly the final person to see the residence alive. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the farmstead, Victoria Gabriel and her family were drawn to the old family barn. Victoria Gabriel, her 7-year-old daughter Cecilia, and her parents Andreas and Cecilia, they were led to their doom, each meeting a grisly fate at the hands of an unknown assailant. The perpetrator then entered the living quarters and murdered Joseph, who was sleeping in his bassinet, and Maria, who was in her bedchamber. Their bodies were found for days after the gruesome crime. All had been killed with a mattock. But who could have committed such a heinous act? Let's look at the clues and evidence found on this case. 1. The mattock used as the murder weapon. 2. Footsteps in the snow leading to the farm but none leading away. 3. Strange noises from the attic reported before the murders. And lastly, a mysterious newspaper found on the property. Which clue do you think is the most crucial? Leave your thoughts in the comments as we move to the investigations done in 1922. In 1922, investigative methods were rudimentary compared to today. There was no DNA analysis, no advanced fingerprinting, and no criminal databases. The police relied on physical evidence and witness testimonies. The case was given to Inspector Georg Gruber and his department, who had the task of investigating the gruesome killings. The initial investigation was hampered, however, by the fact that someone, likely the killer, had entered the farmstead and interacted with the crime scene, moving bodies and items and even cooking meals in the kitchen. At first, the motive for the crime was first suspected as robbery, and the police interrogated traveling craftsmen, vagrants, and several inhabitants from the surrounding villages. However, the detectives soon abandoned the burglary theory when a large amount of money was found in the house. From the evidence left at the farmhouse, it was clear that the killer had remained at the farm for several days. Not only did this mysterious person cook food, but he also fed the cattle and also recently had cut meat from the pantry. With little to no evidence available at the crime scene that might offer police a clue to the killer's identity and no forensic technology, detectives began to draw up a list of suspects from testimonies given. The key people suspected were 1. Lawrence Schlittenbauer, a neighbor who found the bodies the first time and also had a complicated relationship with Victoria, whom they shared a son with. 2. Carl Gabriel, Victoria's husband, who was reportedly killed in World War I, but some believed he had returned and driven by jealousy or desire for revenge, because of his wife's relationship to another man, could have committed the murders. And lastly, a wandering stranger who stumbled upon the isolated farm. It's your turn now. Based on the evidence and suspects, what's your theory? Was it someone known to the family or an opportunistic outsider? Share your detailed theories in the comments. The most compelling theories will be featured in our next video. Thank you for joining us in this interactive investigation. The Hinterkaifeck murders remain unsolved, but with your help, maybe we can shed new light on this dark mystery.